Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been searching the web lately trying to figure out how to unlock your Verizon phone, you have probably hit a massive wall of outdated, totally contradictory information. It's incredibly frustrating, right? Well, you're in the exact right place today because in January 2026, Verizon underwent a fundamental shift in their unlocking rules that literally changes everything. I'm going to break down exactly what this means for you, how to navigate their brand new system, and most importantly, how to actually get your device unlocked.
Let's be real for a second. Have you ever stepped off a plane after a totally exhausting flight, super excited to kick off an international vacation, only to realize you can't pop in a cheap local SIM card? Instead, you are instantly hit with the dread of those wildly expensive daily roaming fees. Or maybe you found an absolutely incredible deal on a new wireless carrier right here at home, but you just feel trapped because your current phone is locked to Verizon's network. It's a huge pain point for so many of us.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because unlocking your phone is about way more than just a single trip abroad. It is about total freedom of choice. Having an unlocked phone means you can seamlessly hop between high-value carriers, like Mint Mobile or Visible, whenever you want. It lets you completely dodge those international roaming charges by grabbing local SIMs anywhere in the world. And critically, it protects your wallet. Did you know a device that's still locked to a network actually fetches roughly 22% less on the resale market than a fully unlocked one? That's huge.
So, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at why unlocking your phone matters. Then we'll cover the big 2026 policy change, Verizon's new eligibility requirements, and a step-by-step unlocking guide. After that, we'll get into verification and troubleshooting, and finally, alternatives and a quick disclaimer.
Section 1. Why unlock your phone? The value of an unlocked device. I really want to emphasize that 22% figure we just touched on. According to a 2026 Marketplace Pulse report, that's the average drop in resale value for a phone that is stuck locked to a carrier. Think about that. Even if you never plan to travel to Europe, or you have no intention of switching carriers anytime soon, unlocking your phone is fundamentally about protecting the financial investment you've already made in that expensive piece of hardware sitting in your pocket. Section 2. The big 2026 policy change. The end of the 60-day auto unlock.
To really understand why this massive change happened, we got to look at the timeline. Way back in 2007, an FCC mandate actually forced Verizon to automatically unlock phones 60 days after activation. But fast forward to 2023, and Verizon started reporting a massive 55% spike in organized device trafficking, specifically right after they acquired TracFone. Basically, criminal networks were buying subsidized phones, waiting out the 60 days for that automatic unlock, and then flipping them on the dark web in places like Russia and China. We are talking over 784,000 devices lost to trafficking in 2023 alone. That cost the company hundreds of millions. So on January 12, 2016, the FCC granted Verizon a waiver to finally drop that old 60-day rule to combat the fraud.
And this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between the old world and our new reality. Under the old policy, it was famously lenient. It honestly didn't even matter if you hadn't fully paid off the device. At day 60, boom, it was unlocked. But the new 2026 policy aligns Verizon with CTI industry standards. Now, unlocking is strictly tied to your financial fulfillment of the device or a pretty lengthy one-year service term.
Let's break this down by plan type, because this is where things get highly specific. If you're a postpaid customer, your device can actually be unlocked immediately upon request, but only if it is fully paid off with a literal $0 balance. Now, if you're on a prepaid plan, and yes, this totally includes Verizon value brands like TracFone and Visible, you now face a strict 365-day wait. You need a full year of paid active service. The only exception here is if your device was activated before January 27, 2026. Those lucky ones are grandfathered into the old 60-day automatic unlock rule.
Section 3. Verizon eligibility requirements. Checking the boxes before you unlock. So what do you need before you can unlock? First, the phone has to actually be a Verizon network device. Second, for postpaid, your device payment agreement must be fully cleared. And listen closely to this part. A fully paid phone means a literal $0 balance. Just having a great payment history for a year doesn't cut it if you technically still owe money. For prepaid, as we mentioned, you need that full year of active service. Finally, the device cannot be reported lost, stolen, or flagged for fraud. Oh, and one quick warning here. If you're getting monthly bill credits on some sort of promo, paying off your phone early just to unlock it will usually void all those future credits, so be careful there.
Now, there is one absolutely crucial exception to all of these rules. Verizon's policy explicitly states if you are a Verizon wireless customer in the military and receive relocation orders outside of the Verizon coverage area, we will unlock your device at your request, even during the lock period. This is the SCRA military exemption. So if you're an active duty service member deploying overseas, you can bypass the lock period entirely by providing your deployment papers, assuming your account is in good standing. But as a few Reddit users have pointed out, this typically only applies if you were stationed stateside when you actually received the orders.
Section 4. Step-by-step unlocking guide. Taking action on your eligible device. Let's move to and see how this builds into the actual process. If you have a newly paid-off postpaid phone, honestly, it usually unlocks automatically in the background. But for prepaid users, or if it just doesn't happen automatically, here is your foolproof manual procedure. Step 1. Open your phone's dialer and type *#06# to get your 15-digit IMEI number. Step 2. Call Verizon's specific unlock department at 1-888-442-5102, or you can just dial 611 from your Verizon phone. Step 3. Give the agent your IMEI and then just wait 24 to 48 hours for them to process the request. While you're waiting, they are processing what's called an OTA, or over-the-air command. To break down that tech jargon, this just means Verizon is sending a signal directly to your device over the cellular network or your Wi-Fi to remove the software lock remotely. Now, for this to actually work, your phone literally needs to be powered on and connected to a network. If you happen to have a much older phone, the agent might actually just give you a multi-digit manual code to type in instead. Section 5. Verification and troubleshooting. Did it work, and what if it didn't?
Thankfully, you don't even need a second SIM card right away to check if the unlock worked. On an iPhone, it's super easy. Just go to Settings, then General, then About, scroll down to Carrier Lock. If it says No SIM Restrictions, boom, congratulations, you're unlocked. On Android, the menus do vary slightly depending on the brand, but generally you'll go to Settings, Connections, and look for Network Lock Status. You can also go into your mobile network settings and try to manually select a network. If competing carriers like AT&T or T-Mobile pop up in the list, you are usually good to go.
But imagine this scenario. You've traveled abroad, you land, you buy a local SIM at the airport, you pop it in, and your screen flashes SIM not supported or invalid SIM. I know the sheer panic that sets in right there. But all this error means is that your phone's hardware sees the physical SIM card perfectly fine, but Verizon's software lock is actively rejecting that new network. Don't go blaming the new SIM card. Your phone is still locked.
If you are stuck in that situation, here are the most common hurdles we found. First, again, verify that literal $0 balance. Second, and this is a massive, incredibly frustrating issue reported heavily on Reddit, Assurant insurance replacements. If you lost your phone and got a replacement through Assurant, sometimes the new IMEI isn't correctly registered in Verizon's back-end system as having completed its time or payment requirements. You will literally have to push tech support to fix that database mismatch. Third, sometimes there's just a lag with Apple or Google servers processing the unlock command from Verizon. And lastly, the absolute definitive test is always just to borrow a friend's non-Verizon SIM card, put it in, and see if you can successfully make a call.
Section 6. Alternatives and disclaimer. Third-party options and final thoughts.
Now, what's really interesting about this next point is that if you browse online forums, you're going to frequently see users recommending third-party unlock services. These are basically marketplace vendors, often found lurking on sites like eBay, who claim they can sell you unlock codes for around $10.
We really need to neutrally report here that while some users do claim success with these alternative codes, they come with pretty significant inherent risks. We're talking potential scams and almost zero guarantees of getting a refund if it fails. Ultimately, the responsibility for unlocking a phone falls entirely on Verizon and the original account holder. MVNOs like Mint or Visible simply cannot unlock a Verizon phone for you. They don't have the power. And hey, if you're buying a used phone on Facebook Marketplace or Swappa, always demand the IMI and run it through Verizon's official unlock checker before handing over your cash, because you as the buyer inherit the seller's lock status. Oh, and on a positive note, once Verizon legitimately unlocks your phone, they will never relock it. You're free forever.
And that brings us to our professional disclaimer for today. Telecommunications regulations and carrier policies are constantly evolving, as we've clearly seen with this major 2026 update. Always verify the most current terms, your own personal financial obligations, and your consumer rights directly with Verizon or by checking your specific contract.
So the crucial point is, once you've jumped through all these hoops, paid off that device, and finally secured that highly coveted no SIM restriction status, where will your newly unlocked phone take you next? The freedom of choice is completely yours. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and happy traveling.